Hi, everyone. I just wanted to come on here and say that um, I hope everyone is well at this time. I'm sending out so much love and light. It's a pretty dense energy that is out among us, and a lot of people are having to make changes, a lot of changes. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to share this vulnerably, transparently, and honestly. Um, this is my truth. Uh, some may resonate with this, and that's all I hope to do. If there's a message in what I need to say, I really hope that you hear what you need to hear. I'm just channeling something, and I've been here and I've been trying to avoid what's coming into me, what I'm hearing, what I'm sensing, and I can't do it. I'm being called to do something and step up to the plate, and I can no longer just sit still. Um, I know that I have 5 children, and this has been something many people didn't ever experience or think that they were going to experience this in their lifetime. The separation, it's a collective thing that I'm tapped into. Um, I was always empathetic. I always was an empath. Um, I used to numb that out because I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like feeling exposed or vulnerable, and today that's all I want to do is expose my truth. Um, Whether it's somebody can resonate with it or find that it's useful or take something away. That's all I want. I want to lift and elevate those who are stuck in this denseness. Uh, we are expansive beings, and I never knew what that meant. See, I had a lack of language, and the best thing I ever did for myself and my children was hire a coach. I got sober, I got clean, and I hired a life coach to help me navigate through the things that I did not understand. I've said it before. I had the A's and I had the C's in life, but I missed all the B's. Um, I had gone and um, just kind of left. I don't think I was ever fully here, even as a child. Different learning disabilities, different things that were very clear to see that there were some things that I really lacked in. Language barriers, learning, reading, math, you name it. Anyway, yeah, those were all my difficulties. However, I had not gotten much information other than what my perception was able to understand, which wasn't very much. Um, all I ever wanted to do was have my children grow up and be a mom. To me, that was everything, right? Um, Even at the age of 8, I wanted to just have children and be a home taker, look after my family. That was my dream, and I'm living that dream today. I am. However, that was very rocky for a long time because I didn't know how to just sit still and listen. Okay? Um, my operation system was go, go, go. So that I like to laugh about today because it's go, go, gadget. And then Curious George, that's just another thing. My Curious George is always busy. So I had to learn through hiring somebody that I made actually, it wasn't about just hiring somebody, it was actually taking the time to invest in myself so that I could grow, I could learn, and I could develop things so that I could be the best mom I could be today. Are things perfect in my world? They're definitely not. However, I will tell you they're perfectly imperfect. And I really hope that you're feeling my heart, because that's all I want to bring to you. I want to bring you hope. If you're in pain or if you're suffering and you're feeling alone, I want you to know that you're not. You're not alone. This journey, we lost the ability to be. Um, I call it my ego brain. I've done a lot of neuroplasticity and learning a lot about the programs, operational systems, and I needed a lot of deprogramming from childhood things. And this is by no fault, okay? Because we can only give to our children what we have learned. And I didn't learn. There was a portion of my life from the time I was 11 till probably 32 that I couldn't hear. I wasn't listening. I could not understand or comprehend. All I could do was try to take every substitute to numb out and quiet that. And I didn't realize that it was that I had to look at. And I had to have somebody else look at it with me. You know, I had no idea. I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought I knew it all, right? That's what I thought. I thought I knew it all. I thought I had all the answers. I thought that, you know, I was just going to be able to surf on through. And a lot of it was toxic, unhealthy, and program. I got sober in 2005 from alcohol. And yes, I'm anonymity, but I am sharing mine because I believe that it can help somebody. 1999, I quit using drugs that were injected and other substances. I had a lot of substance abuse, and it took me a lot of time and a lot of people having patience with me. And those who have had those patience and love and understanding are still around me today. It's such a gift. It's such a gift. The walk wasn't easy, but it was doable. And many things had to change. Like, so many things had to change. I had to start back at the basics because I had no idea what it was I was missing. I just knew that I was always chasing something. Chasing a guy, chasing the money, chasing the cars, chasing the dream. And here, I've built the dream. And if you don't stop to see what you've actually built, it'll go unnoticed, you know? I had hearing issues, and I didn't speak until I was 4. Well, I adapted to that, you know, because we are adaptable. We're very adaptable. But what I want to talk to you about today is the decisions and choices I made in my life were mostly based on fear. I was so afraid of being me in case of being judged, being ridiculed, feeling that embarrassment, that shame. You know, I remember one thing I can talk about that is I used to have to go and do speeches at school, and back when I was in school, I won't say in the day because that's really aging. However, we used to have to get in front of the school and do our speeches from the stage. I remember being so embarrassed and red-faced and everything else, and told I was shy, right? Everybody thought I was shy, but it wasn't that I was shy. It was that I had shame. I didn't even know, and how would they know, right? But it was an embarrassment, and that feeling made me feel this big, and that feeling of being this big went through on my life. It played out in many areas. I didn't want to be center of attention. Meanwhile, my ego operating system made me center. See me, see me. And I didn't want to be seen. However, I was just reactive, completely living a life reactive. And I didn't know that. So I worked with a coach, and she got down to the root and cause of my issues. And like I said, it's by no fault. You know, our parents can only provide for us from what they've learned, and they've got trauma too. And, you know, to bring compassion to that, it must have been really darn hard. You know, they weren't heard either. They had no voice. There was some pretty harsh punishment that they came from, you know, and so they lost their voice too. And my ego just wanted to think that it had control, right? So all this time I'm going along, thinking I'm in control, and I was completely out of control. I was the last to know. I can tell you that. Everybody else seen it but me. So, what did I do? I stopped everything. I had to stop it. I was told I had to stop it. That's what the coach was for, was to reparent me. I didn't know that that's what she was doing, but that's exactly what she did. She reparented me and taught me that if my appointment was at 10 o'clock, don't come 5 to 10. You come at 10. And it was pretty strict learning, right? And I didn't like it much because I'm like, who are you? Of course, that's my ego going, well, you can't tell me, right? Because my whole life I ran around, if you told me not to do something, I did it. Why? I don't know why. I can tell you that I don't like being restricted. I've never liked being in a box. Now today I understand what that is, where that comes from, but it took me a lot of uncovering. I had no idea. So as soon as I seen a box, Bonnie would go into sabotage mode. On autopilot, not even aware that that's what I was doing. Sorry. I also found out that with my PTSD, altering mood disorder, and ADHD, and OCD, that those things could be dissected. See, I was operating in a certain way, whereas when I learned to bring it back and dissect every single one of those labels, I was able to use those as motivators now. Those are assets for me today. They're no longer, I suffering from this, because I was in a suffering victim mode for many years. I thought life was happening to me and not for me. So that's how everything kept coming about, because when we respond like that to the universe will only give us that back. It has no choice. So when I realized that there was other ways to do things, new ways to do things, but it took a lot of dedication. See, dedication I didn't understand. Commitment, I had no idea that was it took action. Daily reprieve, okay? This means that every day when I get up in the morning, I have a couple choices I can make. One is I can get up, put my feet on the floor and breathe for a few minutes. Or my old way was get up, look at my phone, and the minute I look at the phone, I get this, I call it a cat collar shock. Because right away, it triggers and gives us an amygdala ambush. An amygdala ambush is a cortisol hit. And anything that is stressful creates this cortisol. And when I found out that I may not have just been suffering from these things and depression, it may just be adrenal fatigue, which I was never informed about until I started really diving deep. It started to really make sense. the the exhaustion. And I mean, I'd get up after 8 hours sleep and I was still exhausted. Didn't know what was wrong with me. I'm depressed. That's what they told me. I'm depressed. I hadn't tried anything different. I didn't know there was another way until I was told and shown what that looked like. You know, I could go create whatever, but it was not sustainable. It was not something that I was able to maintain and continue practicing on a daily basis. Um, the best thing I have ever done in my life is learned to tell myself no. You know, I didn't know how important it was because, see, I'd be like, no, no, no. And then, yes, I would cave. Even with my kids. I'd be like, no, you can't do this. Oh, they'd keep bugging. And what did I do? I would cave. So became a no, no, yes person because I was a people pleaser. I just wanted everybody to be happy and then I'd be happy. That was not true. That's not true. Everybody was happy but me. And that's where I had no discernment. I did have cognitive delay, and I really needed some extra instruction on how to do this thing we call life. And I'm grateful today, you know, and there's a lot of things coming up on the forefront, and there's choices to be made. And I can tell you that my kids are homeschooled. I thought that I always wanted them homeschooled, so this is like such a blessing in disguise. You have no idea. I mean, for those who are suffering, I'm not taking any of that away. Those who are hurt or are really having a hard time at this time, or has lost people that they've loved over all of this, my heart, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. However, it's allowed my family and my home to really do some changes, to step up and become unified rather than separated. And I hear so much separation, and that just breaks my heart. It really does. We're not meant to be separated. We are meant to unify and be co-creative together. And the stuff that's happening, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but the stuff that's happening is really creating a bunch of separation that's just not okay. People have to make choices, and I do not judge anyone for making the choices that they choose. Who would I be to go and try to pass my judgment or my belief, okay, on your life? It's not okay. I see a lot of pain and loneliness, sadness. I feel it, okay? So I'm just going to say it. I feel it amongst the collective. I feel it, and I try to understand it, and, you know, it's, even if you don't believe in God, I can explain something. I had a hard time when I first got my head together and just stopped messing around in the things I was messing around in, and when I heard God, I was really offended. I was scared. Why? Because I grew up thinking that God was punishing. God was seeing what I was doing. I was going to hell, I thought, from the time I was young, okay? Because I had done some things that were inappropriate, and I thought I was going to hell. So I was afraid. So when I first started to try to live a different way, it took quite a while. And God for me had to be good, orderly direction. That was as simple as I could get it, because there's just so many things and so many different stories and beliefs, and so I had to go right back to being very simplistic. I lived my life pretty simple today. I allow people to speak their own truth. You know, you do what you need to do for you. All I pray is that whatever decisions you're making, you're not making them based on fear. Um, because my operating system was fear. And that for me was explained to false evidence appearing real. It means that when I become fearful and make decisions, I'm making impulsive decisions, and they always have large consequences. My whole life I ran on fear. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the dark. And you know what? Now I understand I'm not afraid of the dark. It's that I was afraid of what was in the dark. What a big concept. What a big difference. You know, and then I learned about how our operating system is. And, you know, it's fight, flight, freeze, or appease. And those are the four go tos. The brain, when something happens, it automatically goes there. Okay? So I was in flight mode, fight mode, freeze mode, where I would just hermit. That's the easiest way for me to explain freeze. Or appease, I'm going to make you happy. Meanwhile, I would suffer. And so I kept giving and giving and giving my whole life into my fear. I'm not afraid today. I'm not afraid because it came to me that there's fear or faith. Fear was operating from my ego, and faith was operating from God, good, orderly direction. Anyways, I hope that I'm not offended, or I hope I haven't offended anybody. That's not what my purpose is. My purpose is to let you know that these decisions that you're making, they're very important. And I want everybody to feel freedom. Whatever choice you make, whatever you choose, I just hope that you're free and light from that. I am not sure about where we're going or how things are going to turn out, but I have faith that universe, God, divine, source, whatever it is, has it covered. My trauma, I would fall into victim, villain, or hero stories. So if I was telling a story, depending what I was seeking inside, like my unhealthy side, I would share the story that most fit that. And it was fake. It was all fake. And I had to get rid of that, you know, but I had to look at them in order to collapse those timelines. Now, I'm grateful that my kids are at home. Their mental health is my main priority. I want my children to have healthy mental health. When my children need help, they get it. They get it. I protect them. I'm Mama Bear. And that's my purpose in life, is to help guide these children through all these things so that they don't have to go through what I went through. They can have choices. Every time something comes up, they allow me to bring them choices. And they still, at the end of the day, they get to make their choices. We're free, okay? We're not hostage to anything today. I've heard of so many things. Okay, so I'm going there. Anti-vaxxer or vaccination. And you know what? I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Not by any means. I believe in human rights. and I'm going to mention about the mandates. You know, we need to understand something as a collective. These are mandates that the government has put in place. They're not laws. They're not laws. You still have the power of choice. They can kick you out of restaurants, they can kick you out of all these places, and that's okay. Um, what I choose to do with my life, it's not for anybody else to decide. It's not for anybody else to tell me whether I'm right or wrong. This isn't about right or wrong. That's the ego game. Um, it's not about right or wrong. It's about you do you, and I'll do me. And you know, my children have their own choices also. And I allow them to make them because they're pretty healthy minded. And I am really staying transparent and vulnerable. I believe that we all should have that right. And for me to make a decision against what I'm feeling, whether it's this or that, I'm the one that suffers the consequences. I'm the one that ends up uh, having to go to sleep at night with one eye open. So my choices that I make in my life today are very important, and I don't take them too lightly. Um, I am uncertain about many, many things. However, all I do know is that I've got to show my children what freedom looks like, okay? I need to step out and show them uh, the way that that's done. And I'm not going to hide from anyone. Um, I believe in equal, balanced energies. And I hope that something I've said allows you to take a step back, take a breath, you know? There's time. There's time to take a breath. We've all been triggered to hell by this stuff. I know for myself, okay, so I'll just speak for myself, but there's been so many triggers that I've had to look at and overcome because of the control it has, the power it carries. And you know what? I've opted out of that matrix. I'm sitting here and I'm free. Yes, I'll do what I need to do to protect other people, but that's all I'm doing here. I'm going to live my life and be free because that is my birthright. I have the power of choice. And I'm very sad, actually, that so many people want to step up and they're afraid. They're just afraid. And I want to bring light to that fear, okay? Fear, fear will hold you back from many, many things. Fear of judgment, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. There's so many fear files. But to step out of it and take a different perspective, you know, what are some of the blessings that have come out of this? I know who my family is today. I know who's there for me. I know who goes to bat for me and who unconditionally loves me, without a doubt. And so do my kids. So do my children. Our circle's small, but our circle is unified. And we support one another. We've learned how to do that over the last couple years because of the trial and errors. We've learned how to support one another. We've empowered each other. There's been hard days, right? There's been many hard days and many sad, lostful days. But if you understand how to support yourself and how to support those around you, that's where the freedom comes, you know? Understanding and not judging, and the game about this right and wrong and name calling, and what a crisis. What a crisis. Because that's not what this is about. There's a bigger picture here. There really is. I believe that in my heart. There's a bigger picture here. And we can either fall or we can rise up. And I'm being called to rise up and take a risk. And I've taken many bad risks, okay? That this is a risk I can take and know that it's the right risk for me. With that all being said, I hope and pray that you feel the love and the light that I'm sending to you today. This is nothing except a big hug and a safe place, because we need to support one another. We need to understand each other. You know, bring compassion, light, and love to everyone and everything. That's where the answers lay. You know, I mean, there's a lot of struggling, and we need to come together now more than ever. You know, and I say that for my children's sake. You know, I say that for your children's sake. I say that for all of God's children. You know, there's different ways, and you know, if you're interested in any chakra healing or conversations that are like just transparent, honest, and vulnerable, because there's a lot holding people back. There are a lot of people aren't really speaking because they are afraid, right? We don't know who we can say what to, and that understandably so, you know. But I offer a safe place, safe space, and an unconditional love, you know, and that's divine feminine and divine masculine being as one. Yeah, I'm a Libra, right? Libra's the scales. Libra's balance. I've had to balance my ass a lot over the last couple of years. And a few times I was off balance. And it doesn't take long for me to become aware of it today and be able to shift that, because that's just when I've learned to nurture and love and take care of myself. I've allowed other people the same space to nurture, love, and take care of themselves, and that's what I want to offer. So I hope that this message is helpful. I don't know who's going to hear it. It's a timeless message, so whenever you see it or click on it, that's when you're meant to hear it. And until then, I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. And we're right now, I think there's like, we're on a rainbow bridge, and we just have to cross it, you know, from fear to faith. There's a whole bridge there. And I'm more wanting to build bridges today than the way I was burning them. And I want to say I love you. You're not alone. And take care. Namaste. Amen. Thank you.